Good evening and welcome to the Angrycast. This is a rant.
What do I want to see for a Minecraft sequel? How about Project Cancel? Sounds silly, right? I guess I just have a problem with the idea that there actually needs to be a sequel. I know it's inevitable. The corporate gods at Microsoft won't just let this be the end. Of course, it is probably also inevitable that Microsoft will effectively destroy Minecraft over time. They will bend it to their standards and force it inside this box, and it will suffocate and die a slow death, leaving the public to hold on to the last good version or update with a death grip. Modders will be completely unable to update their work due to the constraints that will ultimately be put on the game, and soon we will have nothing but a memory of how actually good we had it, even though we bitched. I know I sound like a doomsdayer and pessimist, but I've seen it before. The Sims, SimCity, and other games, usually the ones that EA get their hands on, become a shell of their former selves. Yes, I'm looking at you, Star Wars Battlefront, with only multiplayer mode. I'm watching as you will probably destroy what was one of my favorite titles with your inability to leave things that aren't broke alone. And for the sake of getting the game out there ahead of the movie, and then putting in DLC that will end up costing a gamer over $100. Take note, that is probably what will be in store for Minecraft if it spawns a sequel. Think not? We already have DLC on the non-PC version. Skins, worlds, texture packs, those all cost money to get. Guess what the current PC version has? A community. A community that builds worlds for the sake of sharing them, not profit. Look at that Westeros craft. There are servers that let people come together to play, and yes, sometimes fight, PvP style, but ultimately build a world together. A Minecraft sequel will put the clamps on that, more than likely because they won't be able to control how the game gets used. Mojang may be the developer, but Microsoft is signing the checks, and the man that brought the game to life got out when the writing was on the wall. I cannot blame Notch. I think he saw what was coming. I think he looked at the future and he saw that there was no way to stop what was going to happen. So he took care of himself, and I cannot blame him for doing that. He could have stayed and fought nobly, but he would have lost and walked away with worse, or less. It's somewhat bittersweet to see what happened, but he did his time. And for any of you that still continued to bitch that he was a hack because he coded it in Java, well, that's like bitching at Edison for using a tungsten filament in the light bulb instead of whatever you think should have been used. Now, let's not get into a philosophical debate between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. We all get it, okay? I understand. Just go with the analogy here. Now, was it the best possible material to use? Who knows? But you know what? You didn't come up with it. You think Minecraft was horribly coded? Do better. You know, if Edison or Notch hadn't done what they did, it wouldn't have been done at that time, and who knows when. Now, maybe Microsoft gained brownie points by coding their newer version, the Windows 10 edition in C++, because you all crapped about Java. But maybe they did that because they didn't have anyone that knew Java. Or maybe because they wanted it to match the Pocket edition. And see, that's where the rub is. In case you haven't noticed, a lot of things today are built with mobile devices in mind, because it's easier to build one thing for many places than it is to build many things for many places. With mobile being the newest and probably most expansive area of technology, it's easier to build everything in the mobile platform first and then adapt it to everything else. Have you noticed how YouTube controls like the play and the pause buttons seem somewhat bigger on a PC, more mobile-like? You know those little end cards I do with all the annotations to other playlists at the end of my videos? Well, those annotations aren't compatible for mobile devices. I didn't know this until recently, so I apologize if you can't see them on your phone or tablet. Instead of YouTube making that content playable on mobile devices, they just invented something different instead. Hell, the software I support at my work recently upgraded, and all of the user interface icons look ridiculous, like a 3-year-old designed them. The menus and everything look abnormally large, as if they were designed for those phones with the large number buttons for senior citizens. All in the name of mobile compatibility. They didn't actually think if their primary customer base used mobile devices to support it. We don't. We use laptops or desktops. So when Minecraft begins to phase out Java over the next few updates, and they probably will, you'll be stuck with maybe 1.9 or something a little higher than that. And I bet you'll see that Microsoft's plan all along was to buy Mojang, kill the free aspect of all the mods in the community, and then monetize the shit out of it. And when people start complaining and stop paying money for Minecraft, well, they'll just release a whole new game and attract a new batch of users unaware how good it was in the old days, and they'll just accept it. Sort of in the same vein as how Coca-Cola brought out New Coke in the 80s as a distraction while they changed the recipe in the background on the original to use high fructose corn syrup instead of sugar, the HFCS. Once people bitched about how bad New Coke was, they brought back the original Coke as Coca-Cola Classic and said, here you go, just how you remember it. Sort of. Because no one would really notice the change in taste because New Coke sucks so bad. But I guess, kind of like Notch, I should accept what's coming. Minecraft will spawn a sequel. It has to. I mean, as of now, it's the third best-selling game of all time, second on PC alone. So I should at least entertain the idea and voice what I think it should be. Well, not that it really matters who I am. Look, Minecraft started out as an idea. Build whatever you want with the world around you. You need materials? Go get them. You need logic? Heh, no you don't. Trees just don't fall over when you chop them down. You just punch it with your fist. Want to build something? Just make the shape of it in a crafting bench, like a pickaxe. 3 pieces of stone, 2 sticks, and off you go, digging up the world. You can just build anything. Doesn't matter. You start out with nothing, and the only limit is your own imagination. That's why it was so great, and it had no instructions. I mean, I spent the better part of an hour trying to figure out how to make a pickaxe, and I didn't even know there was a wiki to help me. A friend told me, and I finally made it work. It was such an immersive experience, the world around you, expansive and raw. Nothing but you and your wits, taking on the night or a cave with no safety net. But after a while, the regular aspects of the game sort of became mundane. Oh, I mean, I lost everything in an explosion more than once. It sucked. But you could easily just start again, and knowing the basics made the game pretty easy. True, the boss fights like the Ender Dragon and the Wither boss made it a little harder, but those were more endgame goals. Maybe Minecraft 2 needs to have more danger and uncertainty to it. Maybe building a house near the water is a bad thing. There could be flooding, wiping out your entire home. The same could be said for building near an unexposed volcano. You never know when it's going to blow. You come home one day, everything's on fire and melted. You put on an addition and you disturb a nest of mobs while building, and that could spell disaster as spiders or skeletons come flooding through the place. Maybe you can't dig up that land and you need to use it to your advantage or solve bigger problems without being able to simply just terraform and dig up dirt or even just nerd pulling to safety. Keep the blocks, but increase the skill needed to play. Maybe use real-world physics. Add in motion for things and multi-block items that move like windmills or wheels. Or take it to an entirely new world. One where you have to figure out how things work with no help from the game itself. Nothing is for certain in this new world. No ideas. Is that a tree or is it a rock? Is it a peaceful mob? Is it a hostile mob? Hey, what can I make with that? Maybe discovery along the way of how things work is an aspect. Perhaps an overall mystery to solve while you're there, like a rescue. Think The Martian, that movie with Matt Damon, in a video game. Doesn't need to have cutting-edge graphics, just heart and soul. But until there's a time when Minecraft doesn't continue to make money or provide hours of creativity, exploration, and community, we'll keep playing. We will mine it to its depths, one block at a time.